friends, what's up? Today I'm going to talk about how to feel at home when you travel a lot. To give you a little background story, I am a yoga teacher, and since the beginning of this year, 2019, I've been traveling quite a lot. Before that, for the past 3.5 years, I taught mostly in one city in Vienna where I lived at the time, and it was super wonderful, but I always wanted to travel for a living. Like since I was a little kid, being able to travel for a living has been, a total dream. And now when I managed to do that finally, well, it's a dream come true. It's something I've always wanted, and I'm still super happy, and I feel very blessed that I'm able to work like this. However, just like everything, also the things that you thought you want the most come with certain side effects or downsides, which become apparent and start affecting you when you don't take care of yourself properly, which is what happened to me. Since the beginning of this year, 2019, I spent about 4 days each week, 3 to 4 days in Prague and 3 to 4 days somewhere else in a city across Europe. But I also traveled to the US, to Asia, so there's been a lot of traveling. And a couple weeks in, so as I started this lifestyle, I started noticing myself feeling strange, and I couldn't really pinpoint what it is because I just didn't know how I felt. I felt as if my body was in one place, but my mind was somewhere else, and my soul was completely, far away at the other side of the world. Since I didn't know what it was, I didn't know how to behave or what to do. And so I just carried on with my lifestyle and tried to do things correctly. By that I mean correct eating, correct workout routine, enough sleep time, etc. But I still had this weird feeling in me, and then my anxiety levels started peaking. I started having sleeping issues. I felt very nervous and restless, and that's when I was like, all right, Sarah, you have to figure it out. And I started seeing that traveling is affecting me in a way that's not nice, and that I have to do something with that. It got to the point that I nearly felt like crying when I had to board a train or a bus or an airplane. I was like, no, I don't want to have that anymore. So I respected that and cancelled some appointments, some workshops, and took time to just figure it out. I have learned that home is not a place. I'm physically not really attached to any of my things or belongings. I am, of course, attached to some degree to people that I have in my life, but my family lives in a different country and has lived in a different country than me for the past 8 years, and most of my good friends don't live in the same city as I do, so home has not been something that's around me, but something that's within me. And slowly I started to see that more and more clearly. When you travel, it's important to take care of the basic needs. By that I mean correct nutrition, correct drinking regime, which are super important when I travel. I make sure to drink a lot of water, even more than usual, especially when you travel by airplanes. The air is really dry. You have to keep yourself hydrated to feel good. I'm a vegetarian, so I eat mostly plant-based. Sometimes there's some eggs, which I eat actually only when I'm in Czech Republic and Slovakia, because that's where the grandmas are with their chicken. This is where we can get home eggs, but most of my food is plant-based, and it works out really well for my digestive system. So eating mostly plant-based, wholesome, unprocessed foods with lots of water, and I am lucky to say that so far my digestion has been really good while traveling, which I know it's not a case for many people. So yeah, drinking lots of water, eating healthy foods, super important. Next, workout regime. Also, when I travel, I make sure to schedule workouts each day if possible. Doesn't really matter what kind of workout it is. I either go running or I stretch, do my yoga practice. I do some YouTube workout, which I really love, and that works really well, because when you travel, especially, I travel a lot by train or bus, and then I sit for 4 to 7 to 10 hours in my seat, and my body really needs movement. So healthy eating, enough water, and working out, super important. Third thing that helped me with traveling was learning about sleeping and how your body reacts to different time zones and time zone change. Generally, it's said that for each hour that you're in a different time zone, your body needs 1 day to adjust. So if I flew, let's say from here, Central Europe or Eastern Europe at the moment, to New York, which is 6 hours away, my body would need 6 days to adjust. This is especially important when planning long distance trips. I try not to plan short trips that are super far away, because it's not really environmentally friendly, but then also I want to give my body enough time to adjust to the time zone and kind of arrive and feel good. So if it's possible, I stay there for longer periods of time. I try to schedule the work so that I can work, like that. So that's also really important, respecting your time, the different time zones and how much your body needs to adjust. What helps also to adjusting to different time zone is eating at normal times. So eating breakfast at breakfast time, lunch at noon, and dinner in the evening. I know that when you travel and your body's all confused, you feel like eating at midnight and eating at weird times, but it's not going to help you to adjust and arrive. It's only going to delay that or hinder that process. So usually I try to sometimes even skip dinner and midnight cravings and eat my first meal at breakfast, and then at lunch, and then at dinner, and that's usually what really helps. Coming to the most important part of all this. So all these things that I mentioned until now are your basic needs: your sleep, your food, your drinking, your exercise, all that. But ultimately, your home is within you, and you should respect yourself and your needs as you travel. The mistake that I did at the beginning of my traveling yoga teacher career was that I was there for everyone and everything else, but not for myself. So I traveled somewhere and I met, either new friends or I visited old friends, and I felt like I have to give all of myself to these people or to these new experiences or to my work. And then there was very little time just for myself and for asking myself, what do you want? What do you need? How can I take care of myself? And I've learned the hard way, as I said. I started feeling really anxious after some time, super nervous, had sleeping issues, and it was all because I was not at home with myself and for myself. So the first thing I started doing differently was daily meditation practice, which I wasn't really sticking to as I traveled a lot. I just made it my priority to get up each day and sit with myself in quiet and just listen if there's anything I can do for myself, and usually there's quite a lot. My body tells me and my soul tells me. For different people, different methods might work, but silent meditation is my favorite way of communicating with myself. So I do that. I journal each day. It's also my way of collecting my thoughts and organizing my thoughts and figuring out my needs. So that works really well for me, just freestyle journaling. Sometimes I use journal prompts. Usually I just express gratitude for what I have for the day, and maybe think about what I want, what I can do for myself, etc. So journaling works really well. Spending time in the nature, super important. I found that I feel grounded the most when I'm in the nature. So everywhere I am, even when I'm staying in cities, like for instance I live in Prague right now, but I make sure to go to a park if I can each day. I try to do it each day, and just I like to sit next to a tree or just stand next to a tree, because it makes me feel really, it's like arriving. It's like, okay, now you're here. I don't know, as if trees knew something about, you know, spreading roots or rooting down or stability or this groundedness. So to me, trees are teachers. This sounds really hippie, but it's true. I love spending time in the nature. It really, really helps. So meditation, questioning, inner dialogue, you know, nature, and then staying true to myself, living a true life, not lying to people around me, but most of all not lying to myself. So whenever I'm facing a choice, like do this or something else, I go for the option that resonates with me the most, or I create an option that resonates with me the most. Sometimes I have to disappoint some people. Sometimes I have to say no. Sometimes I have to protect myself and people don't understand. But if I don't protect myself and if I'm not there for myself, then I'm going to feel it later on. So really honoring and respecting your needs and wants, and just going your way, whatever you do, be true to yourself. Don't lie to yourself because of someone. And that's the most important thing. I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know if I explained it the way I want it, but you know, you know when something is true or not. Your body knows it immediately. Somebody asks you, do you want to do something, and it's either yes, it's either an obvious yes, or it's a no. So go only for things that are an obvious yes, and you'll respect yourself more, and the people will learn to respect you more as well. And that's how you stay at home when you travel, or when you do whatever it is that you're doing. When you are there for yourself, then you'll always have a place to arrive. you'll always have a safe place, a safe person, because it's you and it's not gonna go anywhere. So inner dialogue, meditation, being there for yourself, spending time in the nature, and just, you know, and if you find that you don't want to travel because that's not true, it's not what you really want, but you think you should want it because it's been your dream once, or because you have the opportunity, then don't do it. And that's also what I did, and that's what I will keep doing. Sometimes you just want to stay at home, and you stay at home, and sometimes you just want to go to your parents' place like I am right now and be at home there. So whatever is true to you, then do that and you will find your home. Yes, so that's it. If you have any questions or tips that I haven't mentioned, then do write them in the comments, and I'll be looking forward for the next talk. Thank you!